We're trying to stop the man who's been holding you, hurting you. If I heal you, can you help?
What if everything we thought we knew about Cipher was a lie? What if the man we've been watching manipulate, torment, and outsmart everyone in Gen V Season 2 never even existed in the first place? Buckle up, because Episode 7, Hell Week, just dropped one of the most shocking reveals in Gen V history. Cipher, the man behind all the mind games, isn't who we thought he was. In fact, he's not even real. For weeks, fans have been speculating about the mysterious burned man hidden inside a hyperbaric chamber in Cipher's house. Every episode dropped another clue, from Cipher's strange detachment to his obsession with Marie Moreau. But now, the truth is finally out, and it changes everything we thought we understood about this season's villain, the Supe experiments, and even Marie's true purpose. So let's get into exactly what happened.
I'm Doug. My name's Doug Breitbill. I got a cat, Buster.
Who Cipher really is, how Thomas Godolkin is secretly pulling the strings, and what this mind-blowing twist means for the upcoming Gen V finale, and even the boys' universe as a whole. For starters, the character we know as Cipher has dominated Season 2 as the show's central antagonist. He's been manipulating Marie, tormenting her emotionally, and pushing her to unlock terrifying new levels of her powers. He's also been controlling Godolkin University from the shadows, orchestrating one horrifying experiment after another. But now, everything we thought we knew has flipped upside down. Cipher isn't a god-tier Supe or a rogue genius scientist. He's not even a Supe at all. He's just a man, a regular human named Doug Breitbill. Doug's life before all this was shockingly ordinary. We find out he had a cat named Buster and drove a red Honda Civic. He even admits he once lived out of that car after being fired from his job at Blockbuster. That's right, Cipher, the terrifying puppet master of Godolkin, was once just a guy down on his luck, probably binge-watching old VHS tapes and eating gas station food. And that's when everything changed. Somewhere along the line, Doug crossed paths with Thomas Godolkin. Yes, that Godolkin, the same man who founded Godolkin University and ran Project Odessa, the secret experiment that created Marie Moreau and, shockingly, even Homelander decades earlier. Now here's the insane part. Godolkin didn't just survive the explosion at the lab in 1967. He's been alive this entire time. Horribly burned, mutilated, and kept alive inside a chamber, Godolkin somehow gained the ability to possess and puppet other people. And Doug Breitbill became his most powerful vessel. In short, there is no Cipher. There never was. Doug himself says it best. No, there is no Cipher. It's just him. There's only him. It's one of the most chilling lines of the entire series, because it means every action Cipher ever took, every manipulation, every order, every death, wasn't Doug's doing. It was all Godolkin. He's been pulling the strings behind the scenes for years, using Cipher's body as a meat puppet to continue his experiments and play God from the shadows. But this twist doesn't just explain Cipher's strange behavior. It completely rewrites the history of Gen V. Remember how Cipher seemed to have no visible powers? Or how his personality shifted unpredictably, calm one moment, unhinged the next? That was Godolkin's influence bleeding through. It's also why Cipher seemed to have such an unnatural obsession with Marie, because she was the key to his ultimate goal. Let's break that down. Godolkin's original project, Project Odessa, was designed to create the ultimate Supe, beings powerful enough to rival gods but still controllable by human hands. It was the same project that birthed Homelander back in the 1980s. But Marie Moreau was the next evolution of that experiment, the only baby to survive the rebooted version of Project Odessa after Cipher, aka Godolkin, secretly continued the work even after it was shut down. Marie's power, her control over blood, makes her one of the most dangerous Supes alive. She can kill, heal, and resurrect using nothing but the iron in people's veins. And now, after healing her sister Annabeth from death and restoring Polarity's damaged brain, she's finally mastering her abilities, exactly how Godolkin wanted. Because the entire time she thought Cipher was training her to become stronger, she was actually being molded by Godolkin himself. Every lesson, every challenge, every twisted manipulation was part of his grand design to create the perfect Supe, one that could not only manipulate life and death, but reshape the very nature of Compound V itself. And here's where things get dark. Marie's decision to heal the burned man in the chamber, thinking she was saving him from Cipher, was actually the moment she brought Thomas Godolkin back to full strength. It's one of the cruelest ironies in the entire show. She thought she was saving a victim, But in reality, she resurrected her true enemy. When Godolkin awakens, his first action is chilling. He forces a low-level student to strangle himself to death. Just to prove a point, he looks Marie in the eye and declares that he's going to weed out the useless Supes one by one. It's the kind of twisted God complex only a man who literally plays God could have. So what does this mean for the finale? Now that Godolkin is back in control of his own body, he's arguably more dangerous than Homelander himself. He's not just a powerhouse, he's a genius. A scientist who understands Compound V better than anyone alive. A man who's been perfecting human manipulation, both biological and psychological, for over 50 years. If he truly plans to eliminate the weak, it's safe to say no one at Godolkin University is safe. Not Marie, not Jordan, not Kate, and definitely not the humans who still think they can control the Supes. And speaking of Kate, remember she's still recovering her powers. If Marie can fully restore them, Kate could use her mind control abilities to potentially get inside Godolkin's head and uncover everything he's planning. But that's a massive risk. The last time she pushed her powers too far, she nearly killed herself. At the same time, we have Sister Sage, the smartest person alive, who seems to be playing both sides. She's been working alongside Cipher, or rather Godolkin, but she clearly has her own agenda. Is she trying to destroy humanity? Or is she secretly plotting to overthrow Godolkin himself? Either way, her intellect and Godolkin's God complex make for a terrifying combination. The question now is, what is Godolkin's endgame? Based on everything we've seen, it looks like Godolkin wants to start over. He's tired of what Supes have become. Reckless, disobedient, and chaotic. In his mind, they're broken versions of what he set out to create. So now he's planning to purify the Supe race, culling the weak and building a new generation of gods, perfectly obedient and utterly loyal to him. But here's where Marie comes in again. She's his masterpiece. But she's also his biggest threat. She's the one creation that didn't turn out the way he planned. She has empathy, heart, and a moral compass. Everything Godolkin wanted to eliminate from his creations. And that makes her dangerous. Marie's ability to manipulate blood gives her power over life itself, meaning she might be the only one who can truly stop Godolkin. But to do that, she'll need help from her friends. Jordan with their dual abilities, Sam with his brute strength, Emma with her infiltration skills, and Kate if she can regain full control. Together, they might just have a shot. The finale could very well lead to one of the most explosive showdowns in Gen V history, and maybe even connect directly to The Boys Season 5. Now, let's take a step back for a second. What's so fascinating about this twist is how it mirrors the themes of The Boys itself: control, corruption, and the illusion of power. Throughout the series, we've seen how Vought and other powerful figures manipulate Supes like chess pieces. But now, Gen V takes that to an entirely new level. Cipher was literally being puppeted by another man, just like so many Supes are puppeted by corporate or political forces. It's a perfect metaphor, and it's terrifying. Doug Breitbill represents the ultimate loss of agency. An ordinary man turned into a vessel for someone else's ambition. And that's what makes this twist so tragic. Doug didn't ask for any of this. He was just a victim caught in Godolkin's endless obsession with power. Now, as Godolkin walks free again in his own body, Doug is left behind, broken, lost, and robbed of almost 2 decades of his life. And that final line about him not knowing Blockbuster doesn't even exist anymore, it's darkly funny, but it's also heartbreaking. Doug has been trapped in a living nightmare, while the world moved on without him. So where does this leave us heading into the finale? We now have a fully restored Thomas Godolkin, a morally conflicted Marie who accidentally resurrected the villain, and a team of young Supes barely holding it together. The stakes have never been higher. Godolkin's next move could determine the fate of every Supe, and possibly even Homelander himself. Because remember, Homelander was one of Godolkin's original creations from Project Odessa. That means Godolkin not only understands Homelander's biology, he might actually know how to control or even kill him. If that information gets out, it could set up one of the biggest crossovers in the Boys universe yet: Gen V versus Homelander. But for now, we're left with one massive question. Can Marie stop the very man who made her, or will she become the final piece in his twisted plan to reshape the world? Whatever happens, one thing's certain. Gen V has just pulled off one of the most brilliant and disturbing twists in TV history. Cipher's true identity not only changes the trajectory of the show, but also redefines what it means to have power and who really controls it. And if this finale delivers even half of what this setup promises, it's going to leave fans talking and theorizing for a long, long time.